Welcome to Asylum Atelier. Welcome to my studio. Welcome to our stream. Welcome to Painting Discourse. Almost get it. It's it's art discourse. So welcome again. I'm happy to be here. I have to start with super dark weather today. It's gloomy. It's really dark. I'm not sure how long I'll be able to paint today. Hopefully till 4 p.m., but I kind of doubt that. So I don't want to again waste time with the introduction. So I'm just gonna go quickly through disclaimers. The first and the most important one is that please do not watch this video and rather join me on this awesome journey to discovery of everything that it's related to creative and creativity and everything that it's somehow connected to composition and art. And the only way how to really enjoy this stream is actually joining me and start creating on your own if you are not already creating. So it doesn't really matter whether you have a clay or digital medium or paint or musical instrument or old school typewriter. All these ideas that we talked about here are strictly abstract, and we can put them into practice through the experience directly on the canvas. In my case, in your case, it could be a clay. If you're a sculptor, it could be digital media. If you're a concept artist, for example, or it could be a musical instrument. So, because there's a lot of philosophy, a lot of kind of abstract thinking that goes together with these streams. So really the best way to enjoy it is just join us, and also not only in spirit, you can also join us with ideas and thoughts, luckily through that amazing technology that we have today. So if you have some cool ideas that you would like to share, or you have some cool ideas regarding to painting that I work currently on, you have some constructive criticism or just criticism in general, these are all welcome. Also, you are more than welcome to fact check everything that I'm talking about, because even yesterday it happens to me that I had multiple names in my head and I was shuffling the surnames with a first names. So that's just something that happens. Other thing that I would like to say is that I talk about different artists, different masters from history. All this information that I am giving you here, these are not necessarily historically perfectly accurate as you would find, let's say, in like a specific art books. These are ideas and information from my point of view as a painter, right? So keep this in mind when you take in this information. So if I talking about the Rembrandt being impressionist, it's not necessarily that he belongs into a group of impressionists, because that's just completely two different periods in our history, but I'm talking strictly about his expression and his use and understanding of pigments and colors and hues and saturation and so on and so forth. And if you watch previous videos or previous streams, because either a stream or the full library of everything that I do, it's also available on YouTube, you might see me just skipping and jumping back and forth between Impressionism and Baroque and the Italian school of thought when it comes to painting, French or Russian. These are all important ideas for me, and I was demonstrating yesterday, and with that actually specifically the left side of a fragment painting that I'm working on right now, that there is you can use different types of approaches to your painting depends on the problem that you're trying to solve. And for me, most importantly, is to find these really creative solutions to problems that we have. And I found enormous amount of pleasure then looking back on these decisions, like, oh, this was a cool creative decision, this was not really that good. And I am analyzing my previous works as well. That's why I still have them all over the perimeter of my atelier, because I really use that previous knowledge and that previous endeavors that I went through. That's what I'm trying to say. I was already. I have to be careful, because whenever I move to that side and I'm looking on my painting, I'm losing the thought that I'm trying to talk about. And these introductions are very choppy, only because I am already here with my brain, and I'm thinking about how I'm going to adjust things, how am I going to solve certain problems, and so on and so forth. So let me go right into this, because the disclaimers, I can repeat them over and over, and honestly, I'm getting tired of repeating myself over and over again. I think it's getting even more boring than it already is. Anyway, today I'm going to continue on that left side of this fragment painting. So we have a middle section of a fragment painting, the left side of the fragment painting, and then we're going to have a right side. And this idea actually happens directly throughout the stream, in combination with your ideas and suggestion, plus my habit of collecting other things. So I had some leftover materials, and I felt that, oh, maybe I should see how this looks, and we moved left and right, and I'm again outside of a view, only because I'm again backing up. So I'm going to continue with this idea. I'm going to continue with this kind of a imaginary triptych. But these are all things that should help me to kind of figure it out, the connection between the figures, connection between the different areas and different ideas. We add some, unexpected elements to this, which would be a sunflowers. For those of you who watch, we had this, idea, and we dealt with the sunflowers. I mean, we discussed sunflowers in depth, so somehow I felt that I have to include them there as that kind of a important step. And also, it's going to be cool to think about that these sunflowers and the movements and all these shapes that we talk about are actually appearing in that particular painting, which I think it's awesome. It's just a cool thing to see. And in the future, I hope it's going to work as well when I look at it, or I'll be looking at it, or I'll see it somewhere if it's going to be placed somewhere, these little elements, or actually fragments, because this is not a final piece. This is just a fragment painting. So I'm kind of excited about this. So yeah, sounds like something that would definitely. It's going to be like a, we're trying to put a like, I don't want to say deep thought, but a thought into this fragment painting. It's a journey, and then those sunflowers. It's kind of. Its journey on its own when it comes to this stream that I am proudly calling our stream these days, because really that's how I feel about this, and I should probably I have to figure something out about this. But I think this is like such an important part, that this is those sunflowers represent our journey, you know, through this stream, which adds another layer to this painting, which I really enjoy. Truth to be told, and of course, it's something that it's going to be problematic for me to put them there. But you know, I'm not afraid. I'm really going to push it. I'm going to see what's going to happen. And like I said, these are all very important creative solutions to a really, I would say, already advanced compositional problems that I have here. So again, I have to add these sunflowers. They're going to add another kind of important element, not only in terms of its shape and meaning and symbolism and so on and so forth, but also with that kind of a silhouette that right now I have to take into a consideration. So it's going to be fun to see, even for me, even for myself, how is this going to play out when it comes to a final piece. So we'll see. You ordered a sun online? Okay, all right. So that's awesome. I'm hoping that you order it for a whole winter, because we will really need that. I'm, you know, finishing most of my most of my other digital projects, which are NDA. I cannot really talk about them, but I'm finishing it, and hopefully from next week I will have more time to dedicate a painting. So like I said, I'm planning to paint more and more either it's a classical or digital, and hopefully I'll be able to stream a little bit more, and maybe have some, you know, maybe have some evening sessions when, you know, we're gonna chill and just sketch around digitally. That's something that I really want to do, because I miss just having fun digitally. And it's not that I don't work digitally. I worked actually digitally more than being classical, just because of that complicated project. Well, it's complicated for me. That's because there's something that I haven't done before, and it's a full, you know, animation. It's just so many things that I was excited about, and I promised that I deliver, and I didn't know how challenging it is. In terms of time and kind of like you know, I had some vision how it's supposed to look, and I'm trying to get as close as possible to that vision within the time frame that I have. But they appreciate it, they liked it so far. So, you know, we had a meeting even today about these things, and hopefully Friday is going to be a deadline when they just sign off on everything, that all the changes that we talked about, and, you know, the camera motions, and, you know, the animations, and you know, it's just the colors, light, environment, so on and so forth. So it was a cool experience. So I'm excited about that, and like I said, I just want to, for a while, after this project, I just want to chill with just the digital files, and, you know, I wanted to use Word, fool around with it, but I don't think that that's appropriate, considering how we use that, you know, fooling around. So, but I would like to have fun with it, at least later on. So, looking forward to that, definitely. Anyway, let's get back to the classical painting. That's something that I extremely enjoy, and it's my number one creative tool to use. And let me start with a quick recap from yesterday, and you can see that I still leave these together, and I'm already thinking, you know, since I was working with that, funny thing, since I have to talk about this a little bit, since I was working with that animations and cameras and placements and movements, I already have some ideas how to improve this existing camera setup So hopefully after Christmas or maybe 2025, we can start with like kind of a new, a cool setup that's going to be a little bit more enjoyable to watch, or you can actually see a little bit better. So I'm excited about this as well. But you know, these are not promises. This is something that I wish it would come through, but I can't really be certain, because it's not only requires me to actually being able to build such a rig with my collectibles that I have around here, but also it requires investment into technology, and I'm not sure if that's going to be possible for me. But anyway, let's definitely not talk about finances, because that's just destroying my creativity and my creative feelings, as you might understand why, because there is never enough money, right? So let's see what's gonna happen. Plus, I think I don't know what's happening with my camera setup and why is it doing this. I don't know. I don't know. Something is not as it's supposed to, and I did all the updates. I did restarts. I did everything that I was supposed to. Something simply doesn't want to work. But it's cool because, you know, if you believe in that kind of a karma, if this little camera is not working, that means that, you know, everything else on the palette is going to work, and everything on the canvas is going to work as well. So I'm excited about that, at least. Yeah, let me just double check that. Let's see what's gonna happen. Because I'm getting annoyed by this. Not necessarily, you know, because the stream doesn't work. I believe that no one expects me to. See, this is just an annoying thing. Let me just do some experiments with this for a second. Yeah, I'm properly connected. My apologies, just give me a second to perhaps get rid of these and set it up again. Trying to, don't you dare to turn off yourself off. Okay, so it seems it's working right now, so though, but let's see. Karma is in my favor, yeah, hopefully. So let's put let me put some gloves on, and let's start with this. Let's start with the painting. So I was talking about the sunflowers a little bit. Excuse me. And the reason why I was talking about the sunflowers is that I have elements right now there. And when you think about the composition, right? Because I was looking at this at this stage, I am looking at the whole composition as it's together. And when you think about it, I have this element and this element practically the same. I mean, I hope that you can see that it's just from both sides, it's kind of creating the kind of a V shape, or the direction, which is not a problem. But I have to either change the shape or make it bigger or smaller or wider. I don't know. I am not sure what to do, what to expect from this. I'm really not sure, and I have to really You used to see me with white gloves. Yeah, it's something that it depends on what my local store has in stock. So, but this black on black looks kind of cool. So maybe I will just start getting these black ones. I don't really care that much as long as they are not from like there is one weird material that I don't like, and I also don't like when they are powdered from inside. So that kind of bothers me a lot, actually, to be told. So as long as they are not powdered and they are not from like a weird plastic material, that it doesn't really bothers me. I know that some people, they have a problem with gloves. I don't. I just got used to that. And yeah, these ones are a little too big though, so I probably have to size down. Maybe, I don't know. So yeah, let's see. Like I was talking about, this is just something, and again, it has the same feeling from both sides, and I'm also repeating it with this V shape right here. So you know, I have to really think about what to do here and how to address certain. I knew it. Okay, let me just adjust it. And remember that this painting is still extremely wet, which is not helping with a. Yeah. Okay, it's a little better. I'm sorry, a little better. So I can see it as a whole, because that's what I have a problem with. I was. And again, I think that figure, it seems like it's like a little too big right now, for some reason. It's maybe a little too big. Let me measure it. Where's my? Trash can. So I have this guy right here, which would be what? From head to the end of this, from head to see, these guys are practically the same size. I just made his a feet a little bigger than it's supposed to be, but that is okay. But I think I have to make his head a little bigger, just a smidge bigger. So it's going to push him a little bit closer to us, because he's going to appear bigger. So let me maybe make that notation real quick with a charcoal. So I should probably make his head slightly bigger. But then I don't want to have it as big as this one, right? Because he has to be smaller. So this is the size of this head. And no, we're good. So it should be probably slightly bigger. And I think it's going to, but then again, I have a problem that if I make it bigger, it's going to line up with this. So maybe not only making it, maybe I'll push it a little lower, because I also push that feet a little lower and closer to him. So maybe that will help. And let me right now check that head count. So it would be 1, 2, 3. Four. Wait, what? 1, 2. So this is Yeah, right now he's only 7 heads, so he has to go a little higher if I make the head that big. Perhaps I should make this guy a little smaller. Because I was keying everything to this painting. So instead of starting to move these guys, maybe I should make him a little smaller. Which would be easier, probably, to do. And since he should be a little further away than him, I have to figure it out how to do that. So these are the difficulties that these are, you're asking about the gloves. Let me see what's here. What is the what's the I don't see. I think this is like something that's called natural latex. I don't really know what that means even. How it can be natural and latex simultaneously. That's probably the, you know, when you don't do marketing properly and you just, you know, slap the words randomly, or maybe it's like a packaged. So I'm just going to maybe push him and make him a little tiny bit, a smidge smaller. So maybe I'll push it here and here. So this is going to make it a little smaller. I can leave this because I want to keep the position for the head and shoulders as well. But maybe I can make him a little slimmer as well. But I'm afraid that it's going to, well, maybe I can push it here. There is going to be this direction for the arm right here. This seems like it's okay. Maybe this could be a little tiny, a smidge, and maybe I could, oops, maybe I could make this tiny bit shorter, and that would give me a chance to make him a little higher. And I shouldn't do this because there's still wet paint right there. But I think that would help, and I would push the legs a little higher. And you remember I said that I have a little problem with the smaller space down there, which would give me a little bit more of that space to show that the bottom plane that I'm missing right now. And then I need to also show that he's further away in the background. So perhaps I could put a little bit more of a grass around this area, and his feet are not going to be as visible, right? So as they're approaching us, and maybe he's standing outside of the the main passage, right? So I'm right now something, yeah. Because again, I was thinking about the composition and how to compose him into this painting, right? Into one canvas. But since this is going to be, I'm relating one thing to another, I need to do these adjustments. I need to do these adjustments. Even compositionally, because I think I dropped him a little lower than I was supposed to. Right? Because when you think about, I was talking about that, these legs and his legs, they were on the same plane on my sketch that we can't see right now because this fragment it's there. So you know, and I was pushing it a little lower specifically so they don't meet at the same area. So yeah, let's push this. A little lower. I make the adjustment right here, and this needs to go then higher as well. So this all is going to be so his feet are going to be right here. Okay, and this is again, remember what I was talking about. If I were to paint like I used to, I would never be able to do this. I would be I'd be horrified of what I'm doing right now. Would be horrified. I mean, that would be end of the world. I would probably, you know, I would probably abandon this, and I would be just trying to solve the problem some other way, which is not bad, but I don't think it would be as good, right? So let's think about this a little bit more. So I guess I'm going to start with adjusting what's happening right here around this area a little bit more, and perhaps I'm going to change his head so he's looking upwards, because I still think that that's going to be beneficial for the painting if he's going to look upwards. I think this is still all wet. Yeah, and I'm going to key this guy to this guy because they need to be, and then I have to start adding these sunflowers around here. So maybe I should start with that as well. Since we have them there. But I don't want to make them again like a focal point, but so they have to be there in a distance. The only problem that I have right now is historically, if the sunflowers were actually, well, that would be the only problem that I have. Because I know we didn't have corn at that time, we didn't have any potatoes, nothing like that was available. I don't know if they had sunflowers. Well, that's actually something that would be interesting to do research on. So I'll double check that. That's the only problem that kind of jumped into my head right now, because I was thinking that perhaps I could put like a little field of sunflowers in the background, which would kind of help with that focal point. But I don't remember if it was such a thing as the sunflowers. Well, anyway, that's still, you know, I still have a time to figure that out. And if there's no sunflowers, we will figure it out creatively what to do with sunflowers. Well, I can always change them for I don't know, for some other plant. It doesn't really matter. So it's okay. It's good. It's good. I want to have the sunflowers there. So who cares if they were available at the time? Well, maybe historians will, but I don't know. Well, I'm not going to be bothered by that right now. I wanted to, but let me just not be bothered by that. What I want to do though is to really push him up. So I'm just going to start right there. And I need a little bit more of that. Yeah, I don't have that. Ooh, I have to get the mineral spirits as well. A little bit of chemistry here. Yeah, that's what I was thinking. That's only just like corn, same thing. Yeah, so we cannot put the sunflowers there because 1500 and 800, it's really a big. Well, maybe we can. I don't know. Let's just let's deal with the problem in hand right now, which would be solving the size issues, because like I said, that's a shape, so we can find something that that we can use later on. I had that feeling for some reason. It kind of dawned on me that that might be an issue when it comes to for a little bit of historic accuracy. That if I want to show that it's my region, it should be, at least the environment should be closer to that. But it's not that big deal. I don't really mind that, since this is a. So let me clean this up a little bit. So I can start working there. that's what I thought with those sunflowers, because if I'm not mistaken, the same thing was with potatoes. If I'm not mistaken, yeah, that's pretty bad. That's pretty bad that we cannot rewrite the history. Well, some people do. Well, you know, I don't really mind if they are there, but the idea was to at least the environment. So it's native to my country. Because I would have some, you know, nationalists come to me that, whoa, sunflowers was not in the territory that you're describing. That's factually wrong. Oh, okay. Because they can prove that it wasn't there, right? They cannot prove the angels flying around, but they can prove sunflowers. So, yeah, or dragons or whatever. So I have to be careful with some of these things. I need yellow ochre, and I need a little bit of those lighter, brighter pigments. So let me just squeeze them in. What is going on? Okay, we have a little bit of yellow ochre here that I can squeeze to get it out. So I can finish this tube. I'm finishing almost all my pigments. I don't know what's... This has been really demanding painting. Pigment heavy, so... I should have probably start with the large painting. I should probably not only paint it, but I should maybe do a material list and how much did it cost, or how much it would cost, or will cost, rather. Since this is a fragment painting, and it's already, well, I don't want to say we are definitely in thousands already, so it's not really fun to think about. So I have this out. Well, we don't need to put the flowers there. I'm thinking that instead of flowers, I'll put that fields with, either it would be, I think that what was a native to it was a grain. What's the? It's not oat. What is the? I don't remember the. I can't recall the name for that. But, you know, what I wanted to say is, if I'm not remember, I read that kind of an interesting idea. I don't know if it's true or not, about potatoes, and the fact that when we brought the potatoes from United States, or, you know, from America, it kind of solved a lot of hunger issues in central northern part of the Europe. What it's a barley, or it's like a hay. It's not a hay. It is a. I don't remember. You know what? I'm just gonna Google it. Let me just Google it. it's just that I don't really I really it's on the tip of my tongue and I can't really, or maybe I'm mistaking it for some other word. Perhaps that's why I'm, you know, a little worried to say that. Where do I have my? I am so confused here with the new updates. What is this about? I am sorry about this. Could it be? What's the flower made of? What's the name that the flower is made of? The rye? Could that be? I'm confused right now because I thought it's a different word, so I was probably mistaken. When you wanna bake bread, you need flour, right? And then flour is made out of rye. I think, if I'm not mistaken. I guess I don't know. Let's so we can substitute it with the rye. That might work. That might work. Okay, let me focus on this right now before I get really annoyed. And then, can I lift this without? Yes, I can. Let's hope it's not going to fall. So I have a yellow ochre, I have this, and I need a little bit more black. Missing black. Where are you, black pigment? Are you here? Yes, you are here. Let's add a little bit of black. I have a green there. I think I have all the pigments that I need. Perhaps I could use a little bit of the I need a greener yellow, so I'm just going to add there a little bit. All right, so let me just hit it with that adjustment layer, which would be camera. this is going to be extremely annoying for me. Anyway, so I'm going to get back to that, mixture of ground plane, and I think that right now I can actually add a shadow there as well. So let me get rid of this a little bit, the texture that I created, because I don't think I need it right now. Just a touch. And let's create a little small area with like a shadow, and I'm going to over exaggerate that shadow right now, only because I want to see it. It would be like so. That shadow, perhaps. Maybe a little bit more forward here as his. And I can always adjust this. It's not a big deal. Just need to go darker. And the reason why I'm not that worried about this is because I might definitely put something in his way here, maybe put him a little bit more into that, into environment. So he's going to be pushed in the background, right? So I would create somehow some kind of a compositionally, right? So I have him here, and he's supposed to be in the background. So I should create imagine a layer or a plane that's going to connect them through here, and it's going to cover him. So I will just put the grass that will just go all the way here on the other side, which going to put, you know what I mean? Like I need to overlap. And I need right now to use environment as an overlap because I don't have another figure to overlap it, right? So that's what I have to do. Let me just adjust his size, and then I'm just going to put it down and then combine them together. Because I cannot lift it. I should probably go ahead and get grab another easel perhaps, and have them on the easel together. Yeah, that might be necessary. So maybe I'll do that for tomorrow or even today. It's just I want to work a little bit before the sun goes away completely. So I have maybe 2 hours of painting. Solid 2 hours, hopefully, before it gets really, really dark. And I'm going to push the saturation here as well. So I'm going to go with yellow ochre and a little bit of redness there, just to saturate this a little bit more. Yeah. Cool. A little lighter value there. Maybe I just go through him immediately, just to see, just having fun a little bit with these. It's maybe a little bit more of that green there. Let's just incorporate it there. can see that I'm being a little bit more like I'm trying to incorporate him into that environment, right? So he's not going to be sticking out that much when it comes to and I'm really painting in pastel right now. I mean, there's a lot of texture. I'm trying to push it a little bit more randomly. And the reason is because I'm going to key it with the pigments that I have that I had underneath, and I can just then go and just really, you see, I'm grabbing a pigment on the brush directly. It's really thick chunk, and I'm just going to apply it, you know, with a certain direction. So if I want to go that way, so maybe like so, just a randomness there. So I'm just going to create something that kind of covers that area right there. And it's just a random movement. And then I can pick up something from this random movement and perhaps, you know, join these things together this way, if I so choose, you know, just to have a little playfulness. And it's, you know, you see like immediately he's kind of receding into a background, no matter what, because he's part of the background right now. And again, I'm picking really just almost pigment straight out of a tube, only because I have a lot of a pre-existing still wet pigment from yesterday. With already existing texture. So that means that I could perhaps push a little bit of these top areas. So I'm trying to harmonize him right now with that green. So he just kind of, you know, he kind of dissolves into the background a little bit more. And I can create like a little shadows right here, or little shadow nodes. So they're kind of connected with with the ground as well. And somewhere here, then I'm going to have his, and you can see that he immediately got a little smaller. Well, oh, you can't, but you know, let me just move it a little lower. Yep, cool. So let him, and even this, some of these areas right here, especially, this needs to go. Needs to go a little more bluer, because right now he's sticking out too much. He's way too saturated, but it's okay. It's all good. It's all good. So you can see a little bit more of that randomness happening, and I should probably go and push it on the other side as well, on the main. So we have this right here, so maybe let's put it here as well. What do you say? Like so. So I'm just connecting it together a little bit more. Perhaps something here. Directly here. Maybe even more. And this is really a fun part of painting, I believe. But you know, you might not enjoy this unless you unless you feel pressure of not being able to correct your drawing. And that's what I was talking about yesterday, you know, so I can just go ahead and just put some different brush strokes here to create maybe some resemblance of some kind of a kind of an abstract background. That he's behind. And I should go ahead and perhaps maybe, and I'm thinking about it right now, maybe I could neutralize it a little bit. Push it also this way a little bit. Behind him. Okay, yeah, that might work. So let's push this diagonal here, and I'm just going to push this all the way here. Okay, cool. Yeah, that might work, but a little bit of these, and then let me push. That might be interesting if I were to just maybe highlight some of these areas here, this, and maybe behind him right here, through that. So because I'm trying to make him smaller, right? So through this. And then maybe I should put him as a, you know, generally speaking, into background. So this is very important right now, and hopefully you have a you wanna think about this a little bit. I'm just going to put him into background, and you might be like, how are we going to do that? Well, simply, I'm just going to make the values in the relationships closer. So I'm going to neutralize these pigments a little bit and make them slightly lighter. And I'm just going to go through him with the background color. That's going to push him into the background. You can see immediately how he is starting to disappear. I can see it. I don't know how much you can see it, but I can see it definitely. There's a huge, like a... maybe a little bit of the lighter value, and I'll push it with a just a touch of yellow in my white, only because I want to have more saturation in the lighter blue value. So I am having this right here. It could go this way, and it could be somewhere here as well, perhaps in the background here, to bring a little bit of more interest here. And I'm just, I'm just painting abstractly back and forth. And you can see that he's slowly starting to hit the place. And suddenly it's a little bit more colorful, it's a little bit more playful, and we have, we're trying to, create these varieties here. It's all kind of cool, playful way of, maybe I can push him here a little bit more either. And these are all pigments that are going to be somewhere underneath there. And he was too warm, and right now I'm cooling him and bringing him, a little bit more with the background. Maybe this can go. To help it a little bit more here. So we're moving, and perhaps the same kind of a similar treatment, I'm not sure yet, I could apply a little lower here. So bring some of these, and you can see how I squeezed the yellow ochre there at the beginning, and it's gone. So let me put this, oh yeah. I'm just warming it up a little bit. And then perhaps I could completely put him into, this could go also a little less saturated. So let me just play. So he would be right there, hidden. And perhaps there could be a to make it a little less yeah, cool. Right now I have to soften this a little bit. Just a touch. And right now you can see he still stands out a little too much. And it's probably because even his, I think this area is a little too big as well. The shadow, so I'm just going to soften this a little bit more with a pigment, with a layer of pigment, because I think that I made his I made his sleeve a little too big as well, so that has to go a little lighter, a little smaller, perhaps. Yeah, so I'm just going to redraw the sleeve, and I'm going to make sure that it works compositionally right now as a unit. And I have to start working on his face. Additionally, right now that I place this one right here, I can bring his face a little bit more forward. So perhaps that should be another thing that I could look into, is to adjust that painting. Right now, when I see a problem with the face right here, this face can go lighter. Absolutely, it can go lighter. Absolutely, it can go lighter, and I think that I can start bringing that saturation back in some of these areas as well. You know, maybe a little somewhere down, a little lower, so I'll push that volume of the grass a little bit more saturated, and a little bit more structured, so I would create a depth as well, so it doesn't look like it's all on the same plane. You remember we talked about that I have a figure, and if something is I won't show that the figure is actually standing on the ground as the ground recedes into the background, right? So I have to, I mean, the beauty of painting like this is that you're truly, you're not focusing only on painting the figures. This is you being able to paint objects, which would be a still life. You're supposed to be able to paint a background, which would be a landscape painting, and you are supposed to paint the figures, which would be, you know, the classical atelier. So, and that's why painting a full scene with everything included, it's a you know, on that pyramid, when we think about still life, landscape, and a figure, historical or multifigural composition in the environment with the objects of the environment is probably, you know, not probably, it's then the highest possible level, only simply because you have to be able to paint all of these things. And ideally, if you excel with all of these, right? So you're a perfect still life painter, you're awesome landscape painter, and then your figures are, you know, off the charts. Then you can consider yourself a little Rembrandt, perhaps. So I have him. Right now I have to work on his face. And since these cannot be sunflowers, what could they be? Because what I have a difficulty right now, a problem rather, is that the color harmony is not working, which annoys me tremendously. see, I made him significantly smaller when it comes to his height and width and okay, so this I've just put a little shadow then later on there, but right now the face is not working. And can you imagine that I have beautifully painted face already inside? I would be devastated if I had to repaint this. You know what I mean? It's just I would be way more likely not to do that. So I know right now that I have to, this is awesome that we decided to do this, because right now I know that I have to push this face a little bit more forward. So perhaps I could focus today on painting this. Unintentionally, I didn't want it to, but it's required because I'm not sure what to do with the sunflowers. Let me just double check one thing. Perhaps this plant was native to, I'm pretty sure it was, I'm not sure. Yeah. I just don't know if it can grow into this height. Mm. Well, theoretically, it could be that high. In theory, I don't know about. Well, perhaps it's just a. I don't want to wait till summer to see whether or not I can. Perhaps. But the flower is way smaller than. But at least I can try to look at it when it comes to whether or not that's going to be too much when it comes to a pigment. So maybe. This could actually work. I'm wondering how much of these ideas are actually really making sense to someone who just jumped into a stream and he's looking, he or she or they are looking at like, what is this guy doing? Well, I am pretending to paint. And I'm going to stand by it, that I'm pretending. So perhaps that's going to work. Yeah, let's go with that. Let's go with that. And then the question is, if I was so excited to have that sunflowers there, but unfortunately. But it doesn't really matter because we have another idea, and it's just going to be I am we're talking about sunflowers. I am talking about wanting to have the sunflowers there, but unfortunately since they are not native to my country, I can't really use them in this particular painting, which annoyed me but it's good, it's good. It did not annoy me, it's just I was already planning on, doing a little sunflower studies and, having fun with it. And I kind of can't right now. So I'm switching it to a different plant, which is, I believe, native. And if it isn't, then I'm just going to put the figures there and repaint that. I'm trying to get rid of that really, really strong orange color. That underpainting, so I can make sure that I have, I keyed everything together, color harmonized, but it's still working somehow, weirdly. Yeah, it's just the only part that it's right now it's his face, and I'm kind of annoyed with that because it feels like I would have to, change the position for his face a little bit. But I think I'm okay right now. He kind of dissolved into the background, and I can right now slowly pull him out of that distance again. But I think it's working right now. I don't know. What do you think? I like that. You used taming, like that's some kind of a dragon. Yeah, oh, it's fun. It's fun. But I realized that, and this is what was in my mind when I put the redness there, because I have a redness right here, and I'm kind of missing it on this side, so we can create a link. And when you look at it right now, it just kind of works. Kind of. It needs a little bit more adjustments, it needs a little bit more understanding, but you can see how things are starting to tie together. Yeah, it's a kind of a, and this is, you know, this is that creative solution. So let me maybe, this is something very important that you might want to really think about when it comes to your painting, right? So we started with some kind of a general shape compositionally, but the fact that we moved it into uncomfortable position gave us a space, not literally and also figuratively, to expand that, you know, to you know, kind of a, like you said, taming that solution. I'm just trying to creatively solve that solution. I was talking about just random circles, but the important part was that there is some kind of a shape and some kind of a movement there that was necessary for this painting. And we talked about the sunflowers and meanings and all that kind of stuff. So I put a sunflower there. So we solved the problem with a shape and direction and a kind of a nice, beautiful kind of a balance. So that's okay, that was working. But then what was missing was then again, historically, it didn't work. So it needed to be repainted again. And imagine right now that you are so hung up on that idea of having a perfectly drawn things, and then and you did everything that was in your power at that point, at that stage of your life, that your ability was maximum to get to that result with the sunflowers. You transfer them to a canvas. You're painting them right now, and suddenly you realize that, oh, I cannot use sunflowers. Well, I would be screwed. I mean, definitely I would be screwed. I would probably, I don't want to say that I would start crying, but I would be really in a difficult position. And right now there is, you know what, I spent, an hour of painting the sunflowers, and right now I spent a couple minutes to repainting them again. And you know, I already knew that something has to be there, so I have that kind of a, and I'm going to play with it again. It's just I needed to see whether or not it's going to work, and I wanted to keep that motion. I also want to tie it together with another part of a canvas, and I saw this red being so lonely there. As a pigment, right? So I abstractly grabbed that redness, and I was thinking about, is there a flower native to my country where I could use this? And hopefully there is. And if not, I can again repaint this and again repaint it to find a proper way. But as it is right now, abstractly, it works with that redness. So I'm going to keep it there for now, which means that we could actually move. And this would be a cool thing. We could put that redness of these flowers all the way in the back on the other side, and they could appear, and I don't know if you're going to see this. Oh, you're going to see this. They could appear somewhere here into background in between them as well, right? So it's just kind of going to create a kind of nice wave, but it's not going to be red. It's going to be reddish. So it might look a little bit more like this area right here. And this might be too strong as well, maybe too much, I don't know. And again, remember, I had a problem with having this orange area the same as this orange area right here. So the redness kind of broke that, right? So it is something there, but it's not the same way. So we still kept that unity within the variety and variety within the unity. right? And that's looking creatively and certainly not being afraid to make these mistakes. I didn't know it's going to work. I just felt it might. And I reused existing sunflowers because I already figured out the shape and the motion. Right now I need to be a little bit more precise, but there's basically the very abstract idea of those flowers. And the thing that I'm talking about is, I don't know if there's I can actually, let me see if this is going to work. What's that? Let me do this. I'm just trying to find the Latin name for this. So I can type it down. So that's the flower that I'm thinking. Let me see. Am I typing it correctly? I think I do. And if not, I'll do it again. This should be a Latin name for that flower. It's actually, I think, it's from the same. I think that you cannot get it in Netherlands. I don't think that it's allowed to use. It's a poppy seed. Yeah. It's from the same. It's from the same what family. I don't know exactly what the classification for these plants are. But this one is like a free roaming fields of my country. So this kind of work, and since it's like a free. It almost like a. It's just the problem is right now that I have, if I include these particular flowers, they bloom in the specific date. I mean, the specific season or part of the year. And I'm not sure, well, it doesn't really matter. Because there is a approximate time when they came to that area. And I don't know if it was winter, summer, I don't know, whatever. Who cares? I think I'm overthinking this at this point. Yeah, it's summertime. But that kind of works because they can be barefoot, they can have like a little less clothes on them. He has the sleeves out, right, because he's warm. So it kind of makes sense. It could be okay to have the summer idea right there. So I mean, like I said, I think that we're getting into like really weird, complicated details that I don't know if just I don't know how deep people are going to think about this when they're gonna look at this painting. Maybe a little bit here, just a little bit, just a touch. Almost feel like it should be. I'm trying to squeeze that, and mix that purple and red, red and blue together to make the purple. So because that's like a kind of a cooler color, and it just kind of recedes into a background. So that's what I'm thinking about. Okay, let me get into this and a little bit of this, a little bit of this, a little more of this. It's really dark, I can't really see. I don't know if I can continue to work this. I'm afraid that I'm just going to, not necessarily ruin it, but it's not going to be color harmonized properly. That's just an annoying moment. So maybe let's quickly work on that. And then let's, I know that I oversaturated this here, but I need to soften these edges here. Right, because it was such a sharp transition there, and I don't want that. I don't want that sharp transition to really take away from that feeling of atmospheric perspective, right? So yeah. Okay, he's in the background. These are in the foreground, so I can start bringing him back to attention, because right now the flowers are going more forward than he is actually, which is cool. Maybe we can play a little bit, because that flower. Let me see. Can it be? I'm looking for that. Like, what would be the best representation of this? I don't think I've seen that many paintings of this. I don't even know if I've seen any. I'm pretty sure that they are. But I don't think I saw any. So let me maybe just have fun a little bit and just do some little interests here. Because these stems are way too thick right now for these types of these kind of flowers. Just maybe get rid of them. Just a soften it, yeah. And bring like really thin kind of a maybe I could make it a little vibrant, since it's a how do they really can't see anything here. I don't even know if I have a right pigment. And this is, you know, this is barely visible even for me, but it's just these little and then I need to make this slightly under angle. I cannot forget that I'm pushing this with the angle. So I have to hit it there a little bit. So I have that visual clue, because it kind of got not clear enough for my taste. So let's maybe push it a little bit. And it should be really soft transition. Okay. Cool. I'm kind of liking this. I can't help myself. It felt like a weird idea, but I think it's going to work. I think it might. It's funny that I like it even more on the screen, because those reds are just popping out, and it's kind of creating that him being in a distance. Yeah, this is weird. Even for me, it's weird, and I'm living in this weird ideas space. So perhaps this will work. And that means that, wow, that means that I have to figure it out and do some landscapes that include these flowers, and then do a little analysis of that. Yeah, but we're good. We're moving into the right direction. What I'm thinking about is that it wouldn't be bad if I add also that another figures right there immediately. So I would add another canvas right there where it's supposed to be, and start keying it to that painting as well. The only thing that I'm annoyed about on the other side is that I broke these two figures that they're holding that icon, because that was kind of an important blending situation happening. So that kind of annoys me a lot, actually. Compositionally, right? Because I don't know right now how to connect them. Well, and the reason why I'm thinking out loud and I'm not even in the frame, let me just maybe make the so you can see me better, because I'm being all the way in the background. Let's give you a little bit, maybe even a little bit more perspective on that. So what I'm thinking right now is that, and the reason why I'm not that I don't want to continue, but I can't see anything. It's really dark. Today it's one of those, this is probably the darkest day that's been this winter. It's even probably going to snow. It almost seems like it's about to start snowing, which I wouldn't be surprised. There's a question. I'm curious, is this your biggest project so far? Yes, you might say yes. I mean, I have some, 2 meters paintings there, but I would say that this is the most complex. That would be probably the best way to describe it. But, it's just at one point, the moment that you realize that it doesn't really matter if it's a small or big one, it's just that the problem with the bigger ones are you need more pigments, ergo more money, you need more space, ergo, bigger studio space, and that means more money, and then you need more time. It means what? Again, more hours, which is what? More money. That's probably the only problem with larger paintings. They don't, because when you think about it, and especially Netherlands and Dutch painters, they used to do like the small paintings like this big. Even when you think about Vermeer, Vermeer's paintings are not ginormous, but they are extremely detailed. You don't need to have a big detailed painting, right? The reason why I chose this size, multiple reasons. First one is because it's just at the Academy, Imperial Academy in St. Petersburg. Well, I shouldn't call it Imperial anymore. It's the St. Petersburg Academy of Architecture, Painting, and Sculpture. It's like the preferable size for a diploma painting. It's 2x3, right? It's because it's like a huge hall that you presented in front of a lot of people, and if you have like a small painting like this, people are gonna be like, well, 5-6 years of work and this is what you brought. Well, they want to see something that is that big. But besides that point, my idea always was that, and this is something that I like to think about when I compose, is that the size of a canvas is going to have a certain impact. And remember, I was talking about this when it comes to that lecture about, again, about the composition. And I think it was one of those Bad Painting Fridays, or Saturday, maybe it was a Saturday, when I was talking about Frederick Caspar David, or Frederick David Caspar. I never know his name. It's just which one is his name and which one is his surname. And he has these intricate, it feels like it's vast landscapes that it deserves a large paintings, but they're also small. So he created that juxtaposition between large open spaces, but he was painting it so small. So, and I remember seeing his painting, I think it was in the Getty Museum in LA, when I saw his painting for the first time, and I was expecting a large canvas, and when I saw it, it was such a intimate experience. And I say intimate because it wasn't bigger than my tablet is, or it wasn't bigger than, it was probably this big. Yeah, it was probably this big. And if you wanted to read the detail, you really had to get close to it. And it kind of forced you to be in your own small space. And like when you're looking at the big paintings, because when you look at the big paintings, you're going further away and you see other people around, your peripheral vision, it's bigger. And when I get to that small, really intimate painting where I was close to this, I suddenly felt that it's that intimate experience of being lonely, because his paintings are so vast, and usually it's one person against a vast background. Either was a seascape or these like a really kind of a gloomy horror-like set. Not horror-like. That's not right. It's just more moody. It had a little bit more character, more towards that kind of a I don't know, like I don't want to say emo and not even goth, but that kind of pre-Victorian era or Victorian era, like really just when people were standing on the shores and thinking about what's behind the horizon. It was not like today that we know and I can call you and I can see you. They were just, it was a difficult journey across the ocean, and he was just kind of playing with that idea of people standing and looking in the distance and expecting these ships appear from behind the horizon. So it was really, and it did show that the smallness of a person against the vastness of oceans, let's say, right? And you look at these like large paintings of, I don't know, the Raft of a Medusa. You don't think about how big the ocean is. You're thinking about like people and action, and it's all over the place. So it's more like the size it definitely has impact, and I felt that this is appropriate size for that, right? Because I think that not the vastness of space was important, but more like the heaviness of the figures, and also heaviness of the whole situation, ergo heaviness of the canvas, the large size. These are just really more psychological things that if you work digitally, you would never even encounter, because you had no reason for, it's digital, you're looking at the screen. So that's why size matters. Size of a canvas matters. That's what I'm trying to say. Yeah, I'm sorry, I can't continue today painting because I really can't see. I try to paint very quickly and effectively, but I can't really mix the proper tones and values, and I could get the values right, but the color wouldn't work because I can't really see, and I want to go and paint him as soon as possible. So I would have to stop for today, which is unfortunate because I was really excited to do this. But here's the thing. Even though I'm not going to paint, I still want to do something productive, and that means that I actually could disassemble this little thing that I have here, and I will bring another easel, like this easel, which is exactly the same, that I have my right now. I'm using it as a holder for my mirror, and think of that, how to hook, or to what I can hook this mirror to. Maybe some other easel, I don't know. I have to figure it out. Actually, I can put down this from the easel that it's being attached to, and put the mirror there on that one, put it away, and yeah. So I guess that's what I'm going to do right now, behind the scenes work, off stream. Unfortunately, I'm sorry, but I like what we did today. I mean, I'm still enjoying that. Either you can play with, oh, I'm looking at this element, and this element, or I can then connect with the redness of these elements, and I can work with that kind of a yellow or golden rather movement. I'm starting to enjoy this. You order the sun for me for tomorrow? Okay, but is it the promise? Is it the promise? Because I'm gonna count on it. Yeah. Or maybe I could start streaming tomorrow a little bit earlier, and then I can end a little sooner. But then I kind of get used to these 12 to 4, my local time. It was kind of a perfect because it fits between my private lessons. You know, I have a till noon private lessons, and then after dinner. So it was kind of a perfect slot for painting. Or actually, I know that's when the sun is the best when it comes to this studio. So yeah, not that much of well, there's the important part that they were accomplished. So let's look at that positively. I can maybe do some research on these areas right here. Yeah. So yeah, I'm not going to even waste your time, and perhaps you want to catch up with some other things that you have, because I can't see pigments properly and colors, and like we get this far, and I want to continue on that. And it's not a problem, like I said, if there is something that was painted bad, you can always repaint it, but I don't want to waste time just doing something that I would have to redo, because that's the redundancy that we were talking about. But I like what we did today with those creative solutions. And this is something that I really enjoy when it comes to oil painting. It's just that freedom that when you reach a certain point of understanding, what pigments can and cannot do, and how far and quickly you can change certain things, and you have that already as I do so many bad experiences when it comes to these adjustments, then you can work a little with a little bit more of a freedom, and I really enjoy that freedom today. I kind of needed it, so I think that I got my dose of painting when it comes to those addictions. And yeah, I'm going to continue, maybe change the setup, maybe do some other work, maybe finish actually that 3D modeling and animating, and then I can maybe push it and press the button to render the animation, and it's going to take 3 days by the time my computer will be okay, because I was not prepared for one thing, and I think even my computer was not ready for that, to do simultaneously to put the stream and rendering on the same processor. I don't think that will be the wisest thing to do. Maybe it would work. I don't know. I was not sure if that's gonna do any good to this. So yeah, thanks for joining me today. It was a shorter video, but still, please, the fact that I am unable to paint right now because of the light condition, and I really want to keep that consistency with a daylight. I don't want to continue under the artificial light. If I were to do a drawing, which is just a value, and I can, I don't really care about the mixing colors, because charcoal is going to be charcoal, throughout the whole stick. It's probably the same material, so I'm not that afraid about other light affecting it, as long as it's lit properly. So if I would have a drawing, I wouldn't mind to continue with the lights on. But when it comes to painting and keying and synchronizing, or rather harmonizing my colors, I strictly work with a natural light. And the reason is because it's I believe it's most accurate when it comes to painting. And when I say accurate, I don't mean that it's always the same and stable, but it's giving me the best possible, the kind of a full environment color, right? Because if I have a spotlight and I'm only my canvas is lit, then I have to lit my palette the same way. So I would have to have two separate lights, one on my palette and one on my canvas. And since I use glass underneath, I think that the reflection would be extremely annoying for me. And then other thing is that I wouldn't be able to, for me, especially when I'm thinking about that with the artificial light, and it happens to me multiple times, I wouldn't be able to separate the light that is hitting my palette and the canvas without the palette reflecting into it and making it lighter. That's just that's something that I remember that I had difficulties with. Yeah. And then I love that, you know, randomness of natural light, because sometimes it's like this, it's gloomy, it's more colorless, and the other days when you get really shiny and hits some kind of a surfaces, and especially the surfaces that are across, which is like really red, really red roof with a kind of a yellow ochre, light yellow ochre facade, which is really reflecting a lot of warmth into my studio. Plus the floor is very warm as well. So I kind of like that a change of a perspective, and it helps me to understand the color a little better, especially on the painting. It's not necessarily something that I'm used to and I enjoy. That's what I'm trying to say, that I enjoy to work with the natural light. So yeah, please continue working on your project as long as you can and as long as your condition allows you to. And I'm definitely going to be here tomorrow. So I'm looking forward to see you, and we're going to continue with that left side. Maybe I will add the right side as well, so I'll have just a little better understanding of the size and proportions, and you know how to put that together. And perhaps if I'm gonna be working on that right side, I might actually work even during the bad conditions. I will turn on the lights because it would be probably also preliminary drawing before anything else. So yeah, we'll see. I'll think about it, and depends on how much I can finish. I don't want to repeat myself over and over again. So have a beautiful rest of the day, and I am hoping to see you tomorrow. So take care and be safe. Bye.